What's up guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be working on hooking up these guys to buttons. So we're actually going to be doing this in the home component. So let's hop up into there and start adding some things. So for this component we're going to be using grid and button from semantic UI. And then we're just going to import our GraphQL things, same as in main. So React Apollo and import GQL from GraphQL tag. Alright, and again, we're going to have to export default below because we're going to be adding some more. We're actually going to be adding some queries later on that are going to need that. So let's work on that render function. For now, let's just add two buttons. So we're going to create a grid, and we'll have a grid.row, close, and in a row we'll have let's do two columns. Grid.column width is equal to 8. And I did this wrong, so we're just going to make two columns. And our first one, we're going to put one button. So button, we're going to make it fluid. We'll add an on click in a second. I first want to just make sure this renders okay and looks semi-nice. So create taco. Then we're going to create another button here. And our second grid, so we're going to be create secret burrito. And let's just come back over here and see. Unexpected token width. Oh, my bad. Alright. Alright, so we have our two buttons and they look like they're in the right place. So sorry if I change stuff real quick. I just removed width. The error that I was having is I had width here. And that was just a syntax error. You can't have width in a closing tag. It needs to be up here. Okay, so let's create two on-click handlers. So this dot handle taco button and give an on click for this guy as well. This dot handle secret burrito button. Oh man, that's a long name. Okay, and let's create them up here. So handle taco button, and we'll also, in here for now, we'll just call this dot props dot create taco. Okay, and down here, handle secret burrito. We'll just call that prop. This dot props dot create secret burrito. So these are the two functions that we talked about in the last video that we created. And I'm just gonna, in the constructor, props. This is just one way to bind it. Because we're using the this keyword in these two functions, we just need to bind it here. This dot handle taco button, this dot handle taco button dot bind this, and this dot handle secret burrito is equal to this dot handle burrito dot bind this. Okay, so we binded those, and now when we click the buttons, they should run that code. But how do we actually know a taco is added? How do we know it successfully worked? Well, we should see something in the console, and we should also see it in our server. So let's first create a query to get all tacos. And as you can see, there's only one taco right now from when we added earlier. If we click create taco, we can see we get an object back here, data create taco, and we can see it has this ID WJI. So if we come back over here, we run this query, we can see WJI, and we see our taco in here. Now, if we do create secret taco, that will not work because we have no authentication yet, so I'm not going to bother pushing this button yet. Because we haven't logged in yet. So in future videos we'll work on the login. But for now I want to work on displaying the create tacos here. I want to see some tacos here. So notice how we saw the tacos is we made a query here, right? And we were able to see the tacos. So we're going to do that exact same thing in our code. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. And we're going to come back over here. And we're going to create a query. So const get tacos query is equal to JQL. Paste that in there. We're also going to be making a get secret taco query, but we'll worry about that later. Const get tacos is equal to GraphQL. Get tacos query and then props data and tacos data. Now this is slightly different than how the mutations work. Right here, whatever you see how when we click this button, it gives us this object here. This data object here is going to be passed back to that function. So that data object is coming right here, and then we're binding this to the props. So as we'll see soon, when we make this query, what will happen is it'll get the tacos, which would return all this data, and then we store that in a prop called tacos. So it gets this JSON from the server and saves it in a prop called tacos. And come back to the bottom here, compose get tacos. We only have one function right now, so we can just wrap it, but we're going to be adding some later, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's come back over here. I'm just going to click React right here, and we should see, oh, and there's one other thing I should mention to you guys, which you're about to find out. If we click on home, we see tacos. So notice how we didn't bind the call. Like get query happens whenever home loads. So we loaded this page, and so it calls that query and it gets the tacos. If I click on tacos here, that's the prop we called it, and I click on all tacos. Oops, is it variables? No, just all tacos. You can see it gives me a list of the tacos. So now that is something we can actually put right here in display. So if we come back up here, we can actually do that. So if I say const tacos is equal, and we're going to grab that from the props, let taco list, and we're going to do it like this, tacos.talk all tacos, because for right when the component loads, this query is going to take a second to load, So when the component is loading, it makes this query, but the render function runs first. So all tacos is actually null or undefined, and then it fills it in later. So we actually need to check. And we say taco list is equal to tacos.allTacos. So once all tacos exist, we then say taco list is equal to all tacos. But if taco list doesn't exist yet, we just show an empty array, and that's fine. And then down here, underneath our tacos button, we can just have an h3 tag. H3 tag. I say taco list dot length, and that'll show the length of how many tacos we have. And then we can just do a pre-tag, and in here we'll put in our JSON. So JSON.stringify taco list, and then we're going to pass in null and then 2. This just makes it spaced nicely so we can see it. And cool, take a look at this. We see all our things here, all our tacos. But look, when I click create taco, nothing happens. I have to actually refresh the page and redo the query. So how do I re-grab queries? Well, there's this thing in the object that we put in our props. So if I go here, go to home, look at tacos. It actually has a refetch function, and the refetch function actually updates the data for us. So what we can do is right here in the handle tacos button is after we create a taco, you can say this.props.tacos.refetch. Now what's really cool about GraphQL is it caches the data. So this will be one network call. It'll create the taco, and then it knows it created another taco, so when it goes to refetch, it just looks at the cache, and it speeds up quite nicely. So if we refresh, create taco, you notice I can click it as many times as I want. As I click it, it adds more tacos, and I can see them expanding here. So that's very cool. We are making this query, we're creating the taco, we're doing a mutation, and then we're updating our query. In the next video, we'll work on creating the login and logging in with GraphQL, and then creating secret burritos after that.